p.m.
Have any homies?
Oh, fat faced.
Up. Wise Take Nation. I snuck a little insult in there right as we were going live, so Shaki couldn't even respond to it. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. I'm sorry. What's up, Nation? It's your boy BrewMedic47 here as always with this week's edition of the PGA DFS Wise Stream. I am joined as always by Big Dollar Sign himself, Shaki. I saw you changed your Twitter name there to just the $, and then Shaki.
Oh yeah, that's what I did.
So that was nice. That was a touch. I respect that as a baller move. So yeah, big money. What's up, Shaki? What's going on, buddy?
Oh, it's going well, I must say. 3 straight weeks, and even the best week from this past week.
I don't think we have to talk about how your week went because you made like
$4,200.
Yeah, something like that. So let's just round it up to 6. I'm on the week. On the week, it's at 6. Ish. So yeah. Welcome everyone. As always, make sure you click that like button, leave us some comments, jump in chat, call us idiots, whatever. And subscribe to Wise Take over here on the YouTube. We're here this week talking about the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Can something be classic if this is only the second year?
Yep, it's already a classic from last year's winner.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Fucking Nate Lashley coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, but the way he won, like coming in as a third reserve and winning it by 6.
Alternate. It's gonna be Kurt this week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to that. Yeah. So Rocket Mortgage Classic coming to us live from Shaki's backyard. I understand we can see your house from the course. Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that
true? They must have some really long range cameras then.
Yeah, it's Michigan, right? It's like everything's on top of each other, right? Detroit,
yeah, that's how it's
next door. So yeah, Rocket Mortgage Classic coming to us from Detroit Rock City. Shaki, so you won like all the money last week, so fuck off. I did okay. Cash hit. Cash was a no-doubter on my end. Again, I apologize for bailing on the stream last week. It was crazy. I was going to talk with DJ. No, I wasn't. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie.
I talked up DJ.
I'm sure you did. But the good news is that I am home this week, so the only thing that could pull me away is some kind of child-related crisis. So we're going to try to avoid that. Yeah, so Shaki did really well. Cash for me was awesome. It crushed. There was a no-doubter, even with 4 of 6. Last week was just dumpster fire in terms of the cut. Percentages were like crazy low. I think it was like over 70% of the field had like a 3 of 6 or worse. So yeah,
1.8% of lineups in the Millionaire Maker made the cut. Oh, had 6 of 6.
6 of 6. That's wild. So what was the contest again that you won all your money in?
Just the $100 300 person.
Right. Sweet. So what was? Do you have any idea what the 6 of 6 rate in there was? Or
0%.
Wow.
Yeah, 0% of 300 people had 6 of 6.
That's fucking crazy. Now, who was your missed cut?
Corey Connors.
Oh,
who shot 3 over on Thursday and 4 under on Friday. Yep. And if he would have just shot even the first day, which was nothing hard to ask for, he would have made the cut.
Wow. Well, that's Corey Connors. That's what he does.
Yeah, he was making a search. He almost had it. He was making a search. He missed it by 3, but like the way he was playing on Friday seemed like he could have shot 7 under.
But you know what they say? Almost only counts and hand shoes and horse grenades.
Yep, that's definitely something.
Yep, that's what they say. Well, so congratulations, Shockey. You murdered last week. Super happy for you, man. That's a big hit. Despite all of our ball busting, I am super, super happy, super pumped to see you kill it like that. And hopefully that brought in some new viewers. Hopefully some people are going to jump on and check out the Shockey Fire that we've been spitting for the last couple weeks. I, on the other hand, am just going to play cash, hopefully double my money, and walk away. Because that's just the kind of guy I am. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Maybe I'll just listen to you for GPP plays this week.
Yeah.
I'll stick with cash. I'll take cash because I'm good with cash, and we'll go from there. So, anyways, let's get into this week. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about last week. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, sweet. So, yeah, this week, I'll give my little course breakdown. I sent you all my stuff last week. I don't know if you actually were able to read it or not.
No. By the time I saw it, it was... Okay. I was already done.
Okay, yeah. I'll just go myself then next time. I was like driving to this like medical emergency, and I'm like, I need to send Shockey this stuff. So okay. I appreciate you reading it. So, welcome everyone to Detroit Rock City, home to a collapsing automotive industry, sky-high homicide rates, poisonous tap water, and now, in its second iteration, the Rocket Mortgage Classic. This event was supposed to be held about a month earlier this year, right after the Charles Schwab, but with COVID changes, it is being held this week. Ironically enough, around the same exact time it was played last year. This week, golfers will try to tackle the Detroit Golf Club, located right in the heart of Motor City. I will say right off the bat that this is the second time this course has ever seen any kind of professional golf play, but was designed by one of the all-time greats in course architecture, Donald Ross. Opened way back in 1899, it was originally a 6-hole course, which was then expanded to 9 holes, before Ross was brought in to bring the whole complex to 36 holes. Ross is known for subtle intricacies on the courses, and as such we have a wealth of bunker complexes, thick rough, and the main focus of his courses, these goddamn greens. Since this is one of the first pro events being played here ever, we are in kind of a blind spot. We look at other Ross courses and together a rough idea on what we're looking for, but we will truly have no idea about scoring rates. And in fact, in order to prepare this event, the course had to add a bunch of tee boxes in different locations in order to get the yardage up to tour standards. Obviously, we have the numbers from last year, but it's only 1 year, so it's not a tremendously big sample size. I'm a stats guy, so I'm all about sample sizes. Size does matter. And we don't have much. So what we're going to see this week is actually an amalgamation of the 2 different 18-hole courses here that are being played on this week. They completely changed the layout, the flow of the course. They added tee boxes for this event, and so it's not just like the 18 holes at the Detroit Golf Club. It's really some weird hybrid form of the complete 36-hole complex, which is kind of interesting, kind of cool. Anyway, so let's get into this as best as we can. Detroit Golf Club, as mentioned, will be utilizing a blend of holes from both the North Course and the South Course to construct the course the pros will be playing on this week, which should add up to somewhere between 7,300 and 7,350 yards, depending on where they play. Again, different tee boxes. We'll see. It'll be scored as a par 72 with 4 par 3s and 4 par 5s. Par 3s here shouldn't be too crazy. We have 2 that are in the 160 to 170 range that yield a birdie or better around 20%, and par around 70%. The 9th is right around 210 yards, but doesn't really have too many defenses aside from a couple bunkers. There's also a decent amount of fairway in front of the green, so if you miss, you want to miss short. The 4th par 3 here is the longest, around 230, and this played actually as the hardest hole on the course last year. Should be pretty tricky for some of the shorter hitters on tour, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. It's just long. The 5s here are stupid easy. 3 of the 4 are between 525 and 567 yards and were a total absolute birdie fest last year, averaging birdie or better upwards of 41%. The fourth is stupid long at 625 yards, but as last year showed us, gave up a decent amount of scoring on its own with a birdie or better rate around 32%. We also have 4 of the 10 remaining par 4s that are under 400 yards in length, which will make for some super short approach shots. From the tee box, we have tight fairways with a fuck ton of trees lining them. Most of the tee shots here are pretty straightforward, as Ross is not known for incorporating a tremendous amount of dogleg into his course. As such, most of the sightlines here are nice and straight. There's a good amount of fairway bunkers here around the landing zones. And one aspect of Ross courses that we see time in and time out are hills and undulations, both on the fairways and on the goddamn greens. On the fairways, they can lead to a lot of very awkward stances and tricky second shots. The width is a little less than tour average, and if you miss, there's a ton of talk about the rough. Last year, the rough was around 3.5 inches tall, but might be a little longer this year, because they've had it's been kind of dry, as I'm sure you can attest, Shockey, considering you live on the course, from what I understand.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, they have. So they're trying to get the rough longer.
Yeah, they're trying to grow it because it's been dry, so it's not as thick or penal as it usually is when it's wet and lush and thick. So to combat that, they try to grow it out. And last year, the superintendent said that there was no plans on mowing it, so it actually got thicker and thicker as the event progressed, also thanks in part to some rain that came through the event last year. Approach shots, golfers have slightly smaller than average greens that slope from back to front a lot, which is pretty typical for Ross designs. The grass is POA, with some bent sprinkled in, but they mostly play like POA. Should be pretty fast and firm, again, considering it's been pretty dry in the area. Fairways here have some undulations. These fucking greens are loaded with them, as again we see with Ross courses. Depending on where they cut the hole, this course can play very tough, and it might just boil down to your putting contest. Pretty much how it did last year. Last year was pretty much whoever's putter got the hottest. Who won, and that was pretty much the case. Greens have different tiers, humps, moguls, which just adds to the difficulty factor with the bumpy POA. But overall, if we look at everything from last year, this course is just easy. Just easy across the board. I mean, driving distance over 4 average. Can you type quieter?
What?
I said, can you type quieter?
Sorry.
Driving distance was over tour average. Greens and regulation was over tour average. Driving accuracy was over tour average. I mean, just about everything we look at here screams easy course. Never mind the fact that the winner won with like minus 25. So yeah, that's my course breakdown. I will also mention that this field is an absolute dumpster fire. I mean, just this field is one of the worst we're going to see all year. Not saying I dislike it. I'm just saying that it is fucking bad after 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks of like good fields. Like the first 2 events had really good fields. Last week was pretty good. This week is fucking atrocious because most people are probably thinking about the Memorial. So a lot of the big guns took the week off.
Also, you play 3 straight weeks, you want a week off.
Yeah, that's fair. And we also have a weird charity tournament tomorrow. Did you hear about that?
No.
So, like, Bubba and some other guys, I'm trying to remember who it was. It was Bubba, some other guys. I forget who exactly. But they're doing, like, a charity tournament tomorrow on course that's actually going to be televised, so we'll actually be able to like watch it. So yeah, that'll be something. That'll be interesting. It'll give us a little bit of a look into how the course is playing. You know, if they're going to water it a bunch, if it's playing soft or firm. So if you're bored, that'll be something to look forward to. Anyways, Rocky, anything else? Talk to me about weather. Yes, it is on TV. I believe it is going to be on TV. I believe it's going to be on the Golf Channel.
Weather, mid-90s, 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. So, perfect.
Hot as balls.
It is hot. Super hot, but don't worry about the winds.
Hot as balls. Rain? Any weather? Any rain?
Not as of right now, but it's also Tuesday.
That's fair.
But players say they like playing in the rain more than the wind, so.
That's fair.
If it somehow does. But for stats for me, I was approach, putting, birdies or better gained. Birdies or better gained. You need birdies.
Yeah, birdies and
you need it's a similar field to last year. It wasn't a strong field last year at all either. So even though it's 1 year sample size, at least it's not like the past few events, because you could add -30 if it was the past few events people playing. But par 4 scoring a little bit, a little bit of scrambling, and mostly it's just approach, ball striking, putting. It's off the tee was for 1 year was minimal. It's really low for off the tee, so I didn't even really include off the tee strokes gained.
Real quick, Shaggy, let me butt in here. For Wes in the chat, yeah, it looks like it's going to be on the Golf Channel starting at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time on the Golf Channel. It's Bubba, Jason Day, HV3, and Wesley Bryan. So that'll be something. And it looks like there's a repeat at 3. So.
Gotcha. But let's get into it.
Okay. Talk to me about this 10K range, or 10K up.
10K up. DeChambeau at the top at 11,700 and Hovland at 10,000. I one of my guys Tyrell Hatton at 10,700. Probably going to be chalky-ish this week, but a great iron player good putter that can catch a really hot putter at times. He's only played one event of the 3 events so far, but he gained 3 strokes on approach on it and 9.3 strokes putting at it. I'm not expecting that. Not expecting 9 strokes, but I expect it to more even out, or even like 3 strokes gain putting or something like that. But the 2 events before the break, though, his irons were on fire as well, so it didn't lose any touch on his irons. I'm hoping he's a little bit lower owned than his projected ownership at 19%, but either way, I still like him, as DeChambeau is projected at like 28, 29.
Oh, yeah.
Which is worthy. It's not like he doesn't deserve it. 3 straight top 10s, top 5, and all that. Like, I like DeChambeau. It's just hard for me. Like, he has to, at that ownership, he has to come inside the top 5, which he can easily do by the way he's playing. Victor Hovland's going to be like the second highest owned guy. And I love Big Dick Vic. I like Big. I love Big Vic at. I don't mind him at 20.
Can we just crop that little bit? CK, I'm talking to you. Can you just crop that out? That I love Big Dick. Can we just crop that out and just save that for like the intro from now on? Yeah. Like Shocky's theme song is just I love Big Dick over and over again.
He's not there. Don't worry. But yeah. I played him last week like I always do. It's in the 7,000s at 20%, 10,000 at 20%. That's a little bit harder, even though he's elite at everything but putting. So I still like him because he can get his way into a top 15 just based on his tee to green game. But my second favorite guy is Hideki Matsuyama at 10,200. He's projected to be the lowest owned in this 10K range, which I like. And what's Hideki? Just one of the best iron. Yeah, one of the best iron putters. Hideki, just don't lose strokes putting. 0. If Hideki gains 0 strokes putting this week, he could easily win this event with his irons.
He does better on POA. POA's one of the better putting surfaces.
Not saying much, but yeah, it is.
Because you don't know where it's going to go, and sometimes you get lucky.
Yeah, but just projected the lowest owned in this range. He played this event last year. He came in 13th, so at least he played it. Hovland played here last year, 13th, so at least they have some notes on it. But just at the projected lowest ownership in this range is ridiculous. I mean, it just is for his skill set. But like Hatton and Matsuyama, and then obviously DeChambeau and Hovland for honorable mentions. But I'm more on Hatton and Matsuyama.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. If I'm playing GPP this week, I'm which I will, because I do. I play in the PME every week. Yeah, no Bryson. Super chalky, super high owned, super expensive. No, thank you. That's just my personal stance. If he's going to be that crazy high owned at this top price, that's going to force a lot of people to build a very specific type of lineup, and I'd rather just be different. What? What are you smirking at?
Don't worry about it. You're talking. Talk.
Okay. Whatever. So, yeah, I'm going to be off Bryson. Yeah, I mean, he could win. He could very easily win, but I'm not going to roll the dice there. I will play Webb. I love Webb. Webb is number one in my model, my GPP model here. Big fan of Webb. We know what Webb is. Yeah, he won, took a week off because of the Ronas, and he might do it again this week. And if he does, oh well. But otherwise, if I'm definitely getting off Bryson, and I'll jump right on Webb. I'm with you on Hatton. I think Hatton's going to be. I don't see people paying 10-7 for Hatton. I don't see people really. He's between Reed and Simpson and DeChambeau. I think that's going to be, or Matsuyama, Reed, and then Simpson, DeChambeau. Like, I think all four of those guys, and Hovland, like, I think all four of those guys are going to be, draw a lot of ownership away from Hatton. That's just my interpretation here. So on that, I like Hatton. The cash play in this range is Hovland, though, easily. I mean, he's 10K. He's very fairly priced. If you're going to go this high in cash, which I might, because there's not a lot that I really like in the 9K range in terms of cash. So, yeah, if you're going to go up here, do Vic. I also don't hate Patrick Reed for cash. I mean, we know what Patrick Reed is. We know he's solid with his irons. Yeah, he missed a cut at the Heritage, but other than that, he's been playing decently well. He played here last year and got a T5. He tends to do well on these easier courses. So I don't hate Reed as a cash play. He's also a decent putter on POA. So, yeah, definitely don't hate Reed. But the main cash play from this range for me is going to be Hovland. I love the Matsu call, though. If Matsu's going to be low-owned, I'm absolutely going to play Matsu because that's my boy. And I certainly don't mind taking advantage of his miscut and lower ownership because we know what he can do. So I'll take us in this 9K range. Like I said, for me in cash, there's not a ton in this range. Obviously, Im's always a cash play for me. He did well here last year, if I remember correctly.
21st.
Yeah, so that was fine. He wasn't
and he's a rookie.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't the force. He wasn't as well known of a name as he is now. So, yeah, down with him. No Ricky. Finau interests me a little bit in GPPs. Again, not that great of a putter, but we've seen Finau spike at times. We've seen him play very good golf. And if he usually carries some ownership, I feel. So that's the only thing that's slightly concerning to me from a GPP perspective. I'm not playing him in cash, but I don't hate Finau. Moving on down the list here. No Bubba, no Nah, and I don't even really like Scheffler at 9K. Like, this range, there's not a lot in this range that I really like. Yeah, so it's M or bust, really. M or Finau, I guess, would be my two cash plays, but it's M. If you're playing cash in this range, you got to play M. All right, I got to step aside for a second. Take us away into the 9 and then 8K range there, Shockey.
Unlike him, I didn't really like the 9K either that much, but I found some interesting things that will grasp my attention. Is Ricky Fowler? I know no one's gonna play him. He missed the cut last week. He missed the cut last week and the week before that. But the good thing was that he gained strokes on approach both those weeks, and weirdly enough, putting, which he excels at, he lost strokes on approach both those weeks on putting, which is not going to last long. He's too good of a putter to keep losing strokes. He will be low owned. If he would have made the cut one of those two times or both times or something, he'd be in the 10K range. So we get a price discount on Ricky. Ownership decrease on him because he hasn't played well, and I'll take advantage of that because he played here last year. Nothing fantastic. 46 wasn't that great, but I'm definitely taking a hard look at Ricky Fowler this week at that ownership with this field at that price, knowing the upside. If his putter gets going this week and he just has one of his amazing putting weeks, the upside is top 10, and I'll take that. Sanjay M, like irons, putting, he has all that. Hasn't done too well in these past couple events with him, but he'll turn it around. He's too good to struggle with his irons for that long. Like, he lost strokes on approach and putting in back-to-back weeks. I don't expect that trend to continue. He will be higher owned with this field and a price discount from last week. Probably not a main lineup play for me just because of the ownership, but definitely in a second or third lineup. And then I will play Scotty Scheffler. It's a price boost from last week, but a ownership discount from last week. I like that. This is kind of a Corn Ferry-like type of course where low scoring, not that hard. And Scotty, coming off the Corn Ferry last year, he played a bunch of easy courses, did really well at them. At around the same ownership as Ricky. I don't mind him at all, especially after screwing a bunch of people last week. Not overly excited about him, but in the 9K, there wasn't much I liked. But into the 8K, which I like a little bit more, a guy I played last week and did really well is Lucas Glover at 8,400. Middle of the pack ownership projected wise. He's played all three events since the break. 23rd, a 21st, and a 20th. His irons have been on fire since returning. He's gained 5.2 strokes, 3 and 7.3 strokes on approach. He's only lost strokes putting once in these three events, which was the first time. Other than that, he's gained 1.5 and 1.4 strokes putting. With how amazing his irons have been and his putting game looks decent, he's definitely one of my favorite 8K plays. Just by the way, I mentioned I am Ricky Fowler, Sanjay M, and Scotty Scheffler for me in the 9K range.
Okay.
Ricky Fowler was the ownership and price discount on him.
Yeah, that's fair. What about Scheffler?
Scheffler, I said it was like a Corn Ferry event, easy course. He's done really well on easy courses, and he just came off the Corn Ferry, so he's used to these types of courses. In an easier field, he should have a good time. Then my first 8K.
9K for Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah, but he's going to be way lower owned.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, my first 8K guy was Lucas Glover. Then my second 8K guy is a guy I played 2 weeks ago. He wasn't in the event last week, but Christian Bezuidenhout, who came T28th when I played him. His iron in all of his fully recorded events, has never lost strokes on approach or putting. Perfect. That's what I like about him. His irons and his putting. Off the tee isn't good. Doesn't matter. Off the tee, don't care about that.
Yeah, off the tee does not matter here, which is crazy.
No. Which is great. And he is basically irons and putter. So that is golden for him, and that's why I like him. The T28th, I think he lost. He wasn't playing. He didn't have a great iron week. He gained strokes at that T28th, gained 4.2 on putting. He's lost strokes off the tee in every single event he's been in, and still in his 6 events has made 4 of 6 cuts with 2 top 20s and 2 top 30s. So you go to an event where off the tee doesn't matter, the upside should be even higher than that. And then my third guy is Harris English is not playing. He is out. Just to let you know. I was writing down.
Don't pull a Snedeker. Don't pull a Snedeker.
Rory Sabatini. Pretty much the same thing as these two guys. He hasn't lost in these events since the break, hasn't lost strokes on approach or putting. His upside is just as high, I think, as Bazoonhout and Glover with how well he's been playing with those two categories. He's just going to be higher owned. He's going to be the highest owned guy in this 8K range. I like him just as much, just the ownership is the only reason I rank him lower than these two guys. Then my last guy will be Eric Van Rooyen, EVR. I know you like him at times.
At times.
Yeah. He's missed a cut and a T21st since returning. His irons are usually on point, but it's his putting. Boom or bust putting, which seems like a lot of people that I'm going to mention. Some of the people I'm going to mention, but I mean, as long as you show upside in putting, that you can catch a hot putter, not like, oh, you gained 2 strokes and that was your best one. He can do pretty decently, so I like him with his irons and potentially hot putter.
Cool. That's the 8K range for you.
Yep. Glover, Bazoonhout, Sabatini, and EVR.
Sweet. Yeah. So for me, it's we have some similarities. You didn't touch on Doc Redman though.
Oh, I played him the past 3 weeks at 6,000. I am not playing chalky Doc Redman at 8,500.
Why not?
Because he's just as much as a 7K guy as any of the other 7K guys, except chalkier and more expensive.
Yeah, he's going to get a crazy bump because he finished second here last year, and he hasn't done anything this year to support that.
Yeah, he's made 3. I've played him every single week since the break, and he's made every single cut.
Well, good on him. Yeah, I mean, he came 11th last week. But
11th, 21st, and 58th.
Yeah, but look at, his POA putting is so bad.
No, his putting is so bad. It does, he's just bad at putting. The reason I was playing was look at his irons. Reason I was playing his irons are just amazing.
His procs range is just absurd. Absolutely.
Yeah, he just sucks at putting. And that's why I didn't mind him at 6,700 because he just had to make the cut and that was it. There's a difference at 8,500 and chalky. I love you, Doc Redman, but not this week.
I'm on board with you, for the record. I'm completely on board. Also Sabatini. Yeah. Cash. Sabatini with a $sign. $sign Abatini. Yeah, good price, good history here, in decent form. Yeah.
Good history here.
Well, the 1 year. Okay. But yeah, so absolutely with you there. And then I was looking at the little JT Poston the Postman for cash. Form last 50 rounds isn't that good. He missed the cut last week, but other than that, he's got 2 top 10s since the tour has resumed, an 8th at the RBC, a 10th at the Charles Schwab.
It's his putting.
Yeah.
Look at it. Have you seen his irons the last 3 weeks?
Have I seen them personally? No, they've been in his golf bag.
He's at JT Post in the last 3 weeks at the Charles Schwab and going to Travelers. Lost 1 stroke, lost 3.9, lost 4 on approach.
Yeah, I believe that. But yeah, his
putting is good. He's a good putter.
He's a very good putter.
Yeah.
So, and again, approach isn't great. He's a good par 4 scorer, which could easily carry him here. His par 5 numbers aren't great either, but again, his par 5s are fucking easy. So I'm willing to take a flyer, and he came T11th here last year, the same exact course. So yeah, I'm posting. Jason Day, I can't with Jason Day, especially in cash. I can't do it. We talked about Redmond. Glover, yeah, I'm alright with Glover in GPPs. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other, but my final cash play for this range is Christian Bezuidenhout. I'm with you on the Bezuidenhout train. I kind of talked a little shit a couple weeks ago about him, but yeah, I mean he's playing well. He's playing good golf. You know, he's only got 20 rounds on record, which is okay. Whatever. You know, that's a decent sample size. So, you know, you got to figure the last two events were, you know, a good percentage of his rounds of record. And 28th last week, putted well. He even putted well at the Charles Schwab when he missed the cut. He just lost strokes around the green and off the tee. So, yeah, I'm definitely on board. You know, he ranks out well in my model. He's got no red numbers. Everything's, you know, green or blue, which I'm fine with for cash. So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there again. And then I have a little bit of love for Hadwin, the Canadian. You know, he grades out really well in my GPP model. He usually isn't that highly owned, but he's a winner on tour. Like he's played well. He's made both of the cuts, finished in the 40s, which isn't anything spectacular. But I think I think Hadwin is very much in consideration for cash as well. At 8,200, you know, I might do a little bit more digging before my article comes out and see exactly. But I don't anticipate him being highly owned. You know, his worst is his par 5 scoring. Everything else is super fucking good.
I see 12%.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll drop down into this 7K range, and I'm going to start it off with, where is he? There he is. Brian Harman. Popping in my model, my GPP model, and he just has a very consistent all-around game that should do him well here. You know, he's a semi-familiar name. You know, good numbers. Nothing is overwhelmingly terrible. I'm just trying to compile my thoughts right now. He missed the cut here last year, which is unfortunate. Whatever. And he actually carried like surprisingly decent amount of ownership last week, and he missed the cut. So I'm sure he goes low owned. You know, he just putted like garbage last week. Like that was what killed him. He putted decently well at the RBC and the Charles Schwab and finished 28th and 23rd, which for 7,900 in cash is like perfect.
And now you go to an easier course with a weaker field.
Jinx.
And not going to be high owned.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on board with Harman. You know, he's seen this course once already, even though it was only for 2 rounds, but definitely on board with Harman. What do you think of this? Do you think like Todd and Gordon are going to be highly owned as like boys?
Snedeker and Varner are looking as the 2 highest owned guys in this at 16 and 17% in the 7K range. Gordon 9, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because I took a hard look at Snedeker. I'm like, he did well here, really well here last year, 5th. But then I looked at what has he done in these couple events. Lost 3.3 strokes on approach and lost 6 strokes on approach in these 2 events. His putting was amazing one week, is why he made the cut last week at the Travelers, and he gained 4.5 strokes around the green. But his irons have been garbage. Like
the fact alone that he had to gain 4 strokes around the green tells you everything
to make the cut. 5 strokes on putting and 4.5, and lost on everything else. Yeah. He lost 2.7 tee to green and made the cut.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I do not want to play a chalky Brent Snedeker that has had no iron play whatsoever.
Nope.
When I could play a way lower owned Brian Harmer, who I like, who has looked way better.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad Snedeker withdrew that 1 week because I was probably gonna play him in cash if he didn't, and he probably would have fucked
Then
me.
miss again.
He did me.
Missed the cut. Yeah.
Next up, Kisner. I'm a Kisner mark, Kisner in cash. The course is a little on the longer side, which he doesn't tend to do very well at, but it is still a par 72. He's irons and putter. That's Kisner. You can just hit the ball accurately off the tee and let your irons and your putter do the rest of the work for you. And, that's what Kisner does. That's his game. So, yeah, he did have a miscut recently, but that's not going to keep me off him. HV3, he's an anomaly for me because I want to like the guy. I want to play the guy, but I just can never get there. I can never just warm up to the idea of playing HV3. 32nd at the Travelers, missed the cut at the RBC, 19th at the Charles Schwab, lost strokes putting every single one of those events. So, and you gotta putt well here. So, HV3, I love you, man. You're an awesome dude. I'll always root for you, but I don't think I can get there this week. And then I'll drop down to my other cash play in this range, and it's dropping way down to Mother Hubbard. Mark Hubbard at... Oh, I'm sorry. Am I stealing all your fire right now?
Go ahead. You go. It's your turn.
I mean, again, his numbers are solid. Consistent, steady, solid numbers. Nothing in the red. All blues and greens, which is what I like to see in cash. He hasn't carried any ownership since the restart. His highest was 2% last week. Decent POA putter. It's an easy course. The field sucks. He's made all 3 cuts, and that's all we want out of a 7,200 play in cash. Just make the goddamn cut. We saw last week the difference between having 3 of 6 with DJ and 4 of 6, with just some scrub with Neiman who shoots plus 17 on the weekend. You still beat that lineup out in cash. So just make the cut, play the weekend, score a couple birdies, even pars. Fuck it. If you're this cheap and you play the weekend and all you do is make pars, fuck it. That's still points. That's all I care about. So, yeah, definitely Mark Hubbard, Mother Hubbard. I might pull out one more play from this range. I have to dig a little bit deeper. I got to give a couple guys a little bit deeper of a look before I actually write them up. My article will come out tomorrow. Hope to bang it out in the morning when I'm at work. Hopefully have it out by noon. So for those of you, but yeah, that's really the 7K range in cash for me. GPP wise, Griot, terrible putter, but terrible putter. Literally the worst in the field at putting.
Wait, I want to pull. I looked at him. Go ahead, keep talking.
First in this field on approach in the last 50 rounds. So, Griot's always a good GPP play. Hoagie's popping a little bit for me, which is concerning, but that's the field that we fucking have. Bramlett's another GPP guy. He's one of those guys. He's a young guy who gets talked up all the time.
He's not that young.
Oh. We didn't talk about fucking Kurt Kitayama at 8,100.
That's because I'm not playing Kurt Kitayama.
And no, can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that a Monday qualifier
is 8,100.
Play a tournament on Monday and qualify for the event, and he's fucking 8,100 over Brandt Snedeker. Kevin Kisner, who's fucking won on tour multiple times, is less expensive than fucking Kurt Kitayama, who qualified at an event on Monday. That's how fucked up this week is.
Vegas must like him.
You talk. I'm done.
Okay, well, I was going to say Grillo for his putting because it's funny. He hasn't gained putting since the Farmers.
3 months.
He's lost over 6 strokes putting twice, and he lost 4.9 last week, and he made the cut at the Travelers because of his irons.
Let me ask you this. How does he get worse? Just saying. How does he get worse?
Well, he missed 6 straight cuts because of it.
So you're saying he's due?
Well, he made it last week, so no. And he came 60th.
Whatever. I'm done with you.
Okay, well, Brian Harman, same thing. Brian Harman, irons, putting, it's there. His upside is there too. But I'll go into Scott Stallings at 7,500. 48th and a T6 last week. Irons have been good in those 2 weeks, gaining 2.7 and 4.7 last week. He's an average putter, but he can catch a hot putter at times. I'm surprised his ownership is so low with how well he played last week, but I'll take it at that price. It is a price boost from last week, but that doesn't really. He was 6,300, but yeah, it's a price boost in a crappy field. But Scott Stallings is better than a lot of these 6K guys, so I think a top 20 is in play if he has the same kind of iron and putting performance as last week in this field. And then I will go with Tom Hoge at 7,000. Yeah. 2 missed cuts and a T37th last week. It hasn't looked good, but he's trending upwards. Back-to-back events, gaining strokes with his irons and putting. He has been a great iron player, and he's above average putter. The reason he hasn't done so well is his off-the-tee play, but like we said, that shouldn't matter this week. So that's why I like him with how his putting and his irons are trending upwards. And I will go to Mark Hubbard. 3 straight made cuts, nothing impressive, but he's done all this. He's made 3 straight cuts and only gained on approach in 1 event. And it's not usually like him. His irons are usually way better than it was the first 2 weeks. So the good thing is his irons came back, his putting is still there, and just imagine if he would have had his normal iron play the past few weeks, he probably would have done a lot better. Go to an easier course. It should be Mark Hubbard's time to shine. I think top 25 or something. Yeah, don't say that. I won't say. I don't think I'll say that another week this year. But this is Mark Hubbard's time to shine. And then I will Will Gordon. What?
That's the field, man. That's the field this week.
Hey, I'll take my low-owned Mark Hubbard at 7,200 that has promise. Yeah. We touched on Will Gordon. I will throw some Will Gordon in there. Only 6 career events, but at 4 of 6 cuts, 2 top 10s. One was last week, of course, where he came T3.
He got a temporary card, so he's clear to play for the rest of the week or the rest of the tour, so the rest of the season. Yeah. So, fuck it. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the best scoring averages at North Carolina. Pretty sure that's him. His irons in his short time he's gained either a lot of strokes with his irons or lost a lot of strokes. But going to an easier course, a young guy, should be pretty easy for a guy that has real potential in a weak field, easy course. And then I'll go back again to Sebastian Munoz at 7,100. 2 missed cuts and a T28. He probably, if he would have made 2 of these 3 cuts, he'd probably high 7K range. He was 7,100, 6,900 in these strong field events and the same price in a weak field event. He's a good iron player, good putter. I expect him to do well here at this event. And he has upside of top 10. He can get a top 10 if he's on if his irons and putting just go off, which they can. And then my last guy in this range is a guy I've never written up, which is Peter Uihlein. The heir to the Titleist fortune.
Yep. Is he? I didn't know that.
He's the son of the CEO of Titleist or whatever.
Oh, that's how I got to it. No, but he's only played 1 event since the break, but he came T14th there. A good iron player and a good putter. He gained 4.3 strokes on approach and 2.2 putting in that 1 event. But overall, he's good at irons and good at putting, and that's what I'm looking for a 7K guy, low ownership, and has potential of doing something on the weekend.
Yeah, apparently he was at one point the number 1 ranked amateur golfer in the world. And his dad, Wally Uihlein, is the chairman and CEO of Titleist, or the company that owns Titleist.
So he's had a lot of money to practice.
Yes, exactly.
Money and time to practice.
Money and equipment.
Oh, that was my 7K range. If you want to talk about anybody in the 6K range.
Oh, it's you, man. You tell me what you got.
Oh, what I got?
Keep this rolling.
Just like I'm replying to. Just like I'm just replying. Okay. No, I was replying because his irons have been terrible. Norton's irons, he's lost 2.1 and 1.4. He had a really good around the green and putting week at RBC, but Charles Schwab was just garbage everywhere. Yeah, not on Nor. He could easily go do something, but I'd rather take my chances on guys that have actually done something in these 2 or 3 events. But my 6K range, Chason Hadley at 6,800. Just say home. T23 and T58 in 2 events he's played. His irons have been really good. He's gained 4.6 and 2.6 on approach. His putting is boom or bust, but for a 6K guy that has good irons and could have a hot putter, I like him. Then Cameron Tringali at 6,600 in this field with his irons and putting.
Yeah.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
It's because he played one event, missed the cut, is why 6,600. I have Chase on a little bit, I don't know, but Tringali is definitely one of my favorite 6K guys. He's just way too cheap. He's not going to be high owned. 6K, no one's really high owned. Just too cheap with his irons and putting. Then I'll go with Tyler McCucumber.
Cucumber.
Yeah. I just like calling him. Nobody's going to own him. Has missed both cuts since returning. One of the reasons was his terrible off the tee play, but that doesn't matter. He has gained strokes on approach both times, has one good putting and one bad putting performance, but just like a lot of people, he just needs one hot putter weekend at 6,300 with the iron he has. He could make the cut as long as his putting is not dreadful. And at 6,300, you make the cut. That's all I need if you're doing stars and scrubs. Then I'll go with charity event man himself, Wesley Bryan. A 68th and a T24th in his 2 events. His irons have been good, especially last week where he gained 9.3 on approach. I'm not expecting that. He gained 2 the first week. But his putter isn't terrible most of the time. He's not like boom or bust. He usually keeps in the green with a terrible few performances, but he's not that great of a golfer. But at 6,500 for guys' irons have looked pretty good and a decent putter, I'll take that. Here, you got a question in chat for you.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so Hadley, Tringali as a crime price, McCucumber, and Bryan. But that's who I'm on. I like this week. I think there's some low-owned plays that you can get different with it. Like that 7K range is guys that you could definitely get different with. Like you could go balanced or stars and scrubs because of there's going to be some with how weak the field is. The 6K and 7K kind of mesh together talent-wise.
Yeah,
they're both guys, people that can boom or bust. So if you want to stack 2 10K guys, go with 2 6K guys and see what you end up with. You could definitely do that.
Yeah, you definitely.
Or a balance with a 10, a 9, 8s, and 7s. Like there's so many different ways to go with it with these weak field, easy course events.
Yeah,
but what?
No, you finish. Finish your thought.
Oh no. Okay, that's all for me.
Okay, sweet, good thought. Yeah, so Jeremy, Redmond, Hovland, Hadwin, Reed, HV3, and Duncan for FanDuel cash. So I don't mess with FanDuel at all. I can't speak to their prices because honestly I just haven't looked at it whatsoever. I'm not not on Redmond, not on really HV3 or Duncan for cash purposes. I'm completely fine with Hovland, Hadwin, and Reed. That's a very good course to start.
I don't, even though I don't play cash, I don't mind Varner as a cash play. I don't know what his price is. Like if it was DraftKings, I wouldn't mind him as a cash play because he should make the cut here because his irons have been good. Mm-hmm. I'm just not playing him in GPP because of he's going to be chalky, but I don't mind him. If his price isn't bad on FanDuel, I don't mind him.
Yeah, like
as a cash play.
I haven't even looked. I haven't opened my FanDuel app in as long as I can remember.
Like his irons 5.7, 0.8, 7.2. His irons are good. It's like, and he's made 2 or 3 cuts. Like I don't mind him as a cash play.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, like I could watch this event at 1:00 tomorrow Eastern time, and be like, damn, he looks good. And maybe that might.
And then Jason Day's hitting hole-in-ones, and you're like, oh, maybe I should play some Jason Day.
Okay, all right, fair point, Shockey. I mean, with his iron play, I guess HV3 is viable. It's just going to come down to his putting, but Redmond and Duncan, I feel like it's kind of like the shiny new toy on tour. So I don't know. I'm not overwhelmingly confident about them this event, but it's a real shitty field. So this might be. We had a week where the chalk absolutely fucking sucked. So we might have a week where the chalk does very well. For me in the 6K range, though, for cash, I'm gonna recommend Harry Higgs again. Obviously, that's been my boy, so I'm not gonna break from my brand. He didn't do great last week. I will admit that. But yeah, I mean, he's other than that, he's been making cuts. He's been playing decent golf. Which is really all you can ask. He's just seems like a really fun, laid back guy who I don't think a missed cut is going to really get him down. He doesn't really have anything to lose. His iron play's been kind of shitty, but he should do well in the par fours here. He's a good DK scorer, so and again, he's just been making cuts. So there's a lot in this 6K range, so I'm gonna dig a little bit more, and there'll be some more plays in my article for when it comes out tomorrow. So for those of you who are not subscribed to the Nation, come on by, pick up a day pass, check out our shit tomorrow, our articles, or join for the full year and talk to us all the time and read all of our goodness regularly. So yeah, it's gonna be Higgs. Scrolling down the list here, Tringali pops a little bit in my model as well, but Jimmy Walker, actually, I think I have some Jimmy Walker love this week. Again, looking at last 50 rounds, GPP, he's not going to pop by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a solid player. He had some troubles with the Lyme's disease once upon a time, but he seems to have been over that. Good with his irons, really good in this field with his approach play. Good from the proximity ranges that he should be seeing pretty frequently here. His putting hasn't been great, but POA is his best putting surface. He missed the cut at the RBC and the Charles Schwab, which are concerning, but he lost the bulk of his strokes off the tee, which doesn't very much matter here. He's at least been decent on approach. And with putting being his best putting surface, I definitely don't hate some Jimmy Walker. A little pop for Cam Percy. I know I said this last week, but Percy does well in events with shitty fields. He missed the cut of the Travelers, missed the cut of the American Express, missed the cut at the Sony, 7th place at the Safeway, 11th at the Sanderson Farms, 7th at the Barbasol. Am I going to play him in a full-strength, full-field event? Probably not. But in a shitty field, he should at least be good enough to play through to the weekend, which for a $6,500 guy is really all we can ask for. Going down a little bit further, a little pop for Stefani. I believe that's Gwen's cousin.
No, but close.
No, I'm pretty sure he is. Just don't look it up. Just trust me. Don't ask questions. I'm pretty sure he's Gwen's. So again, doesn't really do that well, but makes the cut at weaker field events in his last handful of events. He only missed the cut of the Greenbrier. So that's not bad. I mean, he's fucking cheap. He's dirt cheap. 6,300. You kind of got to grasp for straws a little bit when you get down this low. What is that? The last 10 events, he's missed one cut. Now, yes, some might say he hasn't played since November of 2019, and you would be correct. But think of all that free time he's had to work on his game and get so much better.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, he's it's a shitty field, man. You got to pull some fucking rabbits out of the hat to get there. Bronson Burgoon, another guy.
Cucumber will beat all of your guys.
He might. He very well may. And I'm okay with that because this is literally like the 6K range of this type of a field is literally the bottom of the barrel. So, yeah, Bronson Burgoon, another guy. Missed the cut of the Travelers. Missed the cut of the Heritage. Top 40 at the Charles Schwab. Played like garbage at the Travelers. I'm not gonna.
No, that guy is. And good luck on guessing when he's gonna do well. I can't tell you.
It's, again, 6,200.
I will never play him because I will never play him. I can't guess. I am not dealing with that guy. I can't deal with it.
Hey, 6,200. Fuck it. Not the most comfortable cash play, but I would not.
You might as well play. Let's see, Vijay Singh or him.
Oh man, that's tough. Yeah. So it's a bad week, guys. The field sucks. The 6K range is garbage. What? What do you got?
I clicked on this James Nicklaus guy in Fantasy National, and I came up with an error page. He must be good.
Oh, that's a good sign.
0 rounds.
That's beautiful. And he has 0 rounds played, and he's 93rd in my model.
Yeah, he's 94th in mine. That's how you know he's good.
What do you have? Strokes gained couch?
It's just a black bar. There's no stats, but he's better than. That's how bad everybody is. He's just better than those guys regardless.
He's better than almost 60 professional golfers and has no stats.
And he gets an error page when you try to pull him up.
That's incredible. 0 rounds. Wow. Or you can go right above him for Peter Kust as a good GP.
Oh, yeah, 2 rounds.
Like
which was last week.
Donnie Trosper at 6K. 0 rounds, 93rd.
John Senden used to be a really good ball striker.
Related to, what's his face? Snowden? What?
Senden?
What?
I don't know.
All right.
But this has run its course.
Yeah, we've gone off. I see what you did there. Course, golf. I like it. All right, this has gone off the rails. So that's it. That's all I got. Check out my article tomorrow. The 6K area was probably a 5K player last week. Yeah, seriously. These are the weeks where I've had success just like trusting the model, like just playing the people that pop. And I think I went on a 3-week run with Brian Gay like 2 years ago, where I was like, I don't even know who this guy is, but he's popping.
Be gay.
So play him. What's that?
Be gay.
Be gay, my man. Dude has awesome hair. So, all right, nation, that's going to do it. thank you guys for tuning in. Any final words there, Mr. Shakti? Ben Martin.
No, no Ben Martin for me. No, but hopefully the streak continues. Let's see if we can give a month straight of good main lineups.
Stay hot. Hopefully cash is. That's all I'm looking for. I set low standards. So, all right, Nation. Yeah, look at my co-host. Low standards. He won more money than me, so I'm just kidding. All right, Nation. That's going to do it for us. You guys take it easy. Have a good night. Hit us up tomorrow on the Twitter machine if you need us, at BrewMedic47, at Clint Petrikis. Moneybags Clint. No S, just dollar signs going forward.
No, simple man.
Simple man. And if you're part of the Nation, hit us up in Slack. Shoot us a DM, at us, and we will do whatever we can to get you guys on the right path. Thank you all. Take care. Have a good night. We'll catch you next week.